Hey everyone, welcome to the Holiday Product Sales Playbook. Very excited to share this content with you. And Tracy, I'm putting the link to the workbook, the worksheets in the chat, so you can grab that. So, just thrilled to have you here. I love talking about this stuff, and I think this particular workshop is going to be excellent. So, let's get rolling here. So, basically, the way that I'm structured this workshop is so that we can create a plan of action, things that you can do now that will help you crush your Q4 sales goals. And we all know that's a big need to have Q4 work really well. So that's what the purpose of this program is. And here's the worksheets. I sent you all direct links, but the replay folks can use this QR code. So I think that this workshop is going to be different from some other ones that you might have attended. It's very tactical, and I believe it's transformational for anyone with a product business. So you have the worksheets, you can take notes there, and we'll have a little bit of interaction, but I've got a lot to cover, so I will probably kind of keep barreling through unless you have questions along the way. So, like I said, the goal of our time today is really, I want you to walk away with some actions that you can take now this summer that are going to result in sales during the holiday selling season in this winter. And so, like I mentioned, I really want you to kind of just let this soak in. There will be some few things that you can do along the way in the workbook. We'll help you with that. And then at the end of the presentation, and kind of all through this presentation, I'm going to be sharing this next step for anybody who really wants to get serious about this year. It's called our Fuel Your Business Income Accelerator. And our summer cohort is only for product businesses. So this is what we're doing. The whole summer cohort of this program is helping you build your holiday sales strategy. So I'll tell you more about that as we go on, but let's get to this tactical stuff that you are here for today. So, one of the things that I love about the fact that you showed up today is that you're an action taker, clearly. I mean, you have a business and you are making things happen in your business. And when you want to learn something and you then take the action steps to learn it, I think it's very impressive because it sets you apart from a lot of people who have a business and they're just, playing along, and that's fine, right? Just moving along. But you guys are really focused on moving things forward, and I love that. So you all don't even have to raise your hand. I know you're all action takers. When we start as a business owner, when we start our product business particularly, we usually start it because it's something that we love to do, or create, make, collect, whatever it is. And when we get into it, we realize that it's sometimes challenging to make money with this thing. It's a noisy marketplace. I think that's part of it. It's hard to get seen. It's hard to get heard. Hi, Natalie. Thanks for joining us. And, deeply, I feel like in our hearts, we know that if we don't make sales, our business will not survive. And then that sometimes we have that little thought in our head, then, okay, so if my business fails, how does that reflect on me? Like, does that make me a failure in this area? And on the flip side of that, what we really want is a thriving business. We want it that we can enjoy, that fills our cup, that makes us money, helps us support our lifestyles. Being part of the business community is great too. Like, actually having an impact on our local economy is amazing. And so I want to help you get there. That's what Aviatra is all about. So just a little bit about Aviatra. We are a 16-year-old nonprofit that is totally focused on helping women business owners get started and grow. And we've helped more than 6,000 women do this over those 16 years. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself. So my name's Jill. I'm the president of Aviatra. I'm not the founder. I've been with Aviatra for about 4 years. And years ago, in the early 2000s, I had a business that was an interior design business. And it was, you know, I loved it because it was my degree, my passion. I did it full time for a few years, and then I transitioned it to a side hustle for a long time. But now I have a product business, which is, obviously very relevant to what we're doing today. Hey, Jewel, good to meet you. Thanks for being here. So my business is Code Crackers Scavenger Hunts. So these are prepackaged kits to help you do what I call puzzle-packed, brain-teasing adventures that are built around the local art and architecture in our area. So my first holiday season was both exciting and in some ways disastrous. So this was my little tent, my very first vendor market with Code Crackers, my little tent. And this was a 2-day event, a 2-day market. And I basically sold out on day one, which was fantastic, right? Very exciting. However, I didn't have enough stuff to make it worthwhile for me to come back for day two. And so it was a disaster in a way, because I clearly had something that people wanted, and I missed out on an entire day of sales. It kind of killed me, it just kind of killed me. So I felt like it proved my concept. Again, like the high, the low, it proved my concept, but now I don't have anything to sell this whole rest of this holiday season. So just, I think the thing that I notice really about myself at that time is, I didn't have any real marketing. Showing up to the event was my marketing in my head, right? And keep in mind that I teach this stuff, okay? But so give me grace, because I was early stage on this product-based business. I had sold my services for a long time. So I didn't have any marketing. I was just showing up, and I kind of hadn't yet proved the concept, right? I was like, I think these are fun. Let's see if anybody else wants them. And so I was kind of scared to do the marketing, because I thought, well, what if it flops? I clearly didn't have enough inventory. I thought I did, but I didn't. I didn't have any real understanding of my customers. I believed them to be people like me who like brain teasing puzzles. We're going to go much deeper into that. So put a pin in that. And I didn't have any other places to sell. I had signed up for that one market. So, again, like, it was great that I sold some things, but I could have done so much better that holiday season. And I realized, of course, the problem was that I didn't have a plan. And when I'm thinking back about that, I realized that this was my belief, that Q4 success begins in Q4. It's kind of like, to somebody who's not a business owner, that seems to make sense. But what I realized, in fact, and this is the truth that I now understand, that holiday sales success, you don't build that during the holidays. You build that during the summer, before the holidays. Writing on the screen. Oh, Lord, who did that? Golly. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Let me see if I can.
I was like,
Thank
is that
you.
me?
I can't see it. No, it's probably, sometimes we get these trolls.
Yeah, that just like pop it.
Yeah, but I thought I had
Who even
disabled
do that?
that.
That's so weird.
Oh, people are
Well,
so
sorry, I didn't
dumb.
interrupt. I was really
I
distracted. I was like, am I
appreciate
the
it.
only one that sees that?
No,
No, I saw it. I thought it was part of the
So, like I said, the understanding, when I finally came to this realization, that holiday success you don't build that during the holidays. You have to build that during the summer so that you are ready for the holidays. I looked up what percentage of sales do product business owners make typically of all of their annual sales, what percentage do they sell during the holiday selling season? And it's 35 to 50%. So this is real stuff, right? So they said that the home decor type of products, typically on the lower end, 35 to 40%, but that's still of their entire year, 40% of their entire year. Jewelry and apparel, 40 to 50%. hobbies, electronics, and games are at 50. So, you have to get this right, or because that's so much of your annual revenue. So you're here. That's what we're doing. I love that. All right. So let me get back to my code crackers business for just a moment here, because I want to share the obvious truth that I was a scrambler. I was not a planner. So let me give you kind of a little example of how this might look if you let yourself be a scrambler instead of a planner this year. So in July, you're like, I'll start thinking about holiday season sales when they get closer, because it feels months off, right? It feels like we've got a lot of time. In August, I still have time. It's all okay. September, you're like, oh, well, maybe I should start working on my inventory. And then in October, you're like, okay, well, now it's time for me to start posting. Of course, you don't have a plan for that if you're a scrambler. And then in November, you're like, why am I not making the sales that I want to make? And by December, you're just exhausted because you're doing all this stuff. You're scrambling to try to make these sales, and maybe you're putting stuff on sale. You're just crossing your fingers because you don't have this strategy. And so, clearly, I don't want to be a scrambler again, ever. We want to be a planner. So let's keep moving forward on this planner concept here. So I want us to all make a promise to ourselves and to each other here. We are not going to pretend that this doesn't exist. And we're not going to put this off. Is everybody with me on that one? Thumbs up? Yeah. Nods? Yes. Good. Good. I love this. So we're going to break it down here in this presentation so it feels totally doable. So here is the essential question that we're going to answer here today. Imagine that it's December 15th and somebody is looking to buy a gift and they're ready to buy because they don't have a lot of time left. Why would they decide to buy your product? So this is the sort of the guiding question here for this presentation, and really for everything that you're going to do for your sales strategy. So here's the 4 steps that I want you to take this summer, and I'm going to take them as well. So we're doing this all together. So the first one is, and we'll go into all of these as we go. So I'm just introducing the steps right now. Your first one is to choose a hero product. The second one is to make your hero product highly profitable. Third one, make your customers want your hero product. And the fourth one, get your hero product in front of the right buyers. So what makes sense about these steps is that they each, one step leads to the next one, and it makes the next one easier. So as you get the first step solidified, the hero product, it makes the second step easier, and that one makes the third step easier. I really want this for you. I want you to be this woman here in December. I want you to be calm because you've already made all the decisions. You did the work in the summer, this foundational work, so that in December, the sales are coming in and you're prepared and you feel really good. Does that sound like a great outcome here? Yes. Calmness in December. What a concept when you have a product business, right? All right. Let's get started then. Okay. So step number 1, choose a hero product. So the definition of a hero product is one product, or it could be a collection or a bundle, but one thing that somebody can buy that becomes the obvious choice for a holiday shopper. Most product businesses they don't have this hero product, right? They have like 75 products that they want to sell. So that's a problem. And it's a problem because if you have, as this battle between heroes shows, if you have more than one hero, they end up competing with each other, and then neither one wins. And I know that we know this, but I'm going to say it. A confused customer doesn't buy. When they are presented with too many options, they don't make a decision. I know that we've probably seen, we can think of examples of this in our own lives, right? Like when you're looking at like this huge menu at a coffee shop, you're just like, ugh, just give me a black coffee, right? It's too much. It's too much. This is the same situation when somebody's standing in front of your products. If it's confusing, they don't buy. That's what the hero product does for you. It is the one thing that you're recommending that they buy. So let's go. I want to share a couple examples here because, this concept of this hero product, it kind of feels counterintuitive because you feel like if you reduce the number of choices, isn't it more likely that they won't choose anything? But actually, that's not true. That's not true. So Rothy's shoes, I don't know if you're familiar with Rothy's. They launched, so they're this really cool brand that makes their shoes out of zero waste fabric that they knit out of recycled water bottle plastic. So they launched with this style, this pointy toe style, and they let that take hold and they let that define their brand. Since then, they have added a lot of other things, men's shoes, bags, other styles for women, and their company is worth over $1 billion right now. But they started with this one hero product. I was thinking another great example is Spanx. She started with one product, which was basically pantyhose, like compression pantyhose with the toes snipped off. That was her one product that she started with. Now, of course, they sell dozens. They have clothing line, on and on and on. Sarah Blakely, who's their founder, sold the company recently for $1.2 billion. But they started with that one hero product. Have you all heard of woodwick candles? Have you seen those? So there are these lovely candles. They have a little piece of wood for the wick instead of a little cotton string, and it crackles when it burns. So that's just like, that's the differentiator. It crackles when it burns. And they have lovely scents and the jars are lovely, right? But that's the thing that they sell. That is their hero product. Woodwick candles. Guess what they make? Candles with wood wicks, right? Like, it's pretty obvious. And they sell things around that now, but that is their hero product. And so when you think of, I want a really nice candle as a gift, that might be what you think of, might be them. I mean, for me, when I found out, I had my style archetype done for my fashion, and they said pointy-toed shoes was the type of shoe I should wear. Guess what? I buy Rothy's, right? Because I love them, and that's the style that I need. So that was who I thought of immediately when I realized I needed to wear pointy-toed shoes. So, okay, so how do you figure out what your hero product should be? Because this is really an important question. So I've created this little scorecard, and it's in the workbook, but let's kind of just go through it here. And you might notice, I'm very proud of myself, that the letters spell hero. All right. So here's 4 things that I want you to look at. 1, it's already in high demand. So you think about your products. What is a bestseller that you have, or what are your top sellers? So they're already, so if you've got some things that really don't sell that much, but you've got a few things that are really like your typical bestsellers, those are the ones that we're going to consider for this. So then let's go to the next category, your margins. How profitable are these products? Because you want, if you're going to sell, imagine this, you have terrible margins. You're only making a little bit of money on each one, and you sell a ton of them. That's not helpful to your business, right? So you want to choose something that does have good margins. We're going to talk more about pricing, so don't worry about that. But that's a piece of it. The next thing, it represents your brand. So, when you, when what you want with this is when someone buys this hero product, do they immediately understand what your business is all about, what your brand is? So I'm just going to give an example. If you're a bookstore owner and you're trying to think, okay, what is my hero product? And you think, well, my tote bags sell really well. I would still say don't choose tote bags because it doesn't make people think bookstore, right? Like it has to be aligned. Like a lot of us sell related things, but what is something, the hero product needs to be something that kind of represents your brand. I mean, I'm thinking like Nike, it's a shoe. Athleta, it's, like a sports bra that you can wear out in public. Victoria's Secret, lingerie, right? Like they all have one category or one item that really is emblematic of their brand, even though they sell other things. And then the last thing on the scorecard is opens door to more sales. And so that is if they buy this thing, and we're gonna talk more about this, but if they buy this thing, what else can they buy from you? What other sales does it lead to from your brand, from your business? So here is my question for you. If you could only sell one product this holiday season, do you know what it would be? And if you don't know yet, that's okay, because sometimes we have to think it through, right? What could it be? Especially with people who are makers, love to make things, and you're always so excited about the thing that you just made, right? Maybe not so excited about something you made before, even though that might end up being your hero product. So take some time. I will say inside Fuel, the accelerator, we're going to help you evaluate your products, maybe even design a new hero bundle using this framework so that you can really kind of head into the holidays with your hero product as the centerpiece of everything that you're doing, all your marketing and all of that. So kind of give me a pulse on the room here, because this is counterintuitive to choose one main product. And so I would love for you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay. How willing are you to commit to identifying your hero product and really leaning into it? So show me like on your hands, like, are you a 1 is the high, is the lowest, and 10 is the yes? Oh, I love it, love it, love it, love it. I love it. Good job. All right. Natalie, what did you do? I didn't see your hands. A 5? A 10. Yay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Good. Because this is so important. And like I said, it's this first step, right? Everything builds on that. So I'm really glad that you're into this. All right. So step 2 is plan for profit. This is a critical piece that I'm going to tell you right now, the sentence. And it makes sense, but sometimes we don't think of it this way. Revenue is not the same as profit. You know, I was really excited when I sold a bunch of these particular types of scavenger hunts until I realized that I was not making that much money on them. And so I've changed that now. So I make more money on those particular ones. But, you know, I was like, oh, my gross sales were whatever. And then I was like, that's not really that important. Gross sales are not that important. So I don't know if this ever happened to you with your business. Did you ever do your taxes at the end of the year and then realize that you really didn't make any money, hardly any money? Yes, no, and yes. Okay, I've got some of you who are like, yep, some of you who are like, no. Well, it happened to me, and that is a terrible feeling. And so let's not do that. Let's not do that. Holiday profit is not something that it shouldn't be something that you just realize in December. You know, you have to plan for it now in July. So I want to talk about 2 things when it comes to this plan for profit action step here. So there's really 2 essential things. So one of them requires zooming in to your business, and one of them requires zooming out. So the zooming in one is price on value, not costs. So what you have to do here is zoom in to look at your actual costs, right? You have to know your costs. And we talk inside Fuel how to correctly calculate them, but you have to know your costs for your products. And once you have that, now we're going to think beyond the costs to consider the perceived value of your product. So let me give you an example. So let's say you make candles, and this particular candle that you're selling costs, let's say, $12 to make. So if you're doing the traditional cost plus pricing model, which is where you take your costs and then you double them. So you're adding your markup. The plus is the markup, right? So let's say your candles cost $12, your markup is $12. So if you're just doing the cost plus pricing model, your price might be $24. However, the perceived value, which relates a lot to how you're positioning it, like where are you selling is one of them. What does your packaging look like? What are you, in the case of the candles, are you using essential oils? Are you using, let's say, vintage vessels? Are you using only soy wax, right? These are things that are, that give your products a higher perceived value, so that even though the price that you might have settled on initially is $24, it might be that your candles could sell for, $50, twice that. So it's, and we talked about this, like I said, in fuel, but just briefly now, like what you have to do to create that value is you have to kind of wrap the value around your product. So even though you're using soy wax and essential oils and these beautiful vintage vessels and hand lettered labels, if you're selling them at, farmer's market, quite frankly, you're not going to get the pricing. You're not going to get that value. You're not going to be able to, those are not your customers who are going to perceive that value. So it has to wrap around everything. Or let's say you have these soy wax and the essential oils and all of that and the vintage vessel, but your labels are really cheesy looking and you printed them on your home printer. Like another thing that just takes away from that perceived value. So it has to wrap around. All the aspects of it have to support that perceived value. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's part of it. You're pricing on value, not costs. So you have to cover your costs and you have to have a good margin there. So I'm not saying that, but then how can you price it even higher than your markup would indicate? So that's the zooming in part of Plan for Profit. Now let's do the zooming out and kind of look a little bit more holistically at your product mix. Okay, so this is the product mix that you are building around your hero product. So I want to give you an example because the hero product is really the centerpiece. And you can have things around it, like let's say, here's an example. So this is from one of our vendors at Mia's Boutique. She has tea that she, blends herself. So she has tea. What else could go with the tea? If this is her hero product, she could sell mugs. She could sell a tea sampler. She could sell a tea ball. She could sell a gift box with everything together. But her hero product is that tea. Does that make sense? Like another example, think about Apple. So their hero product, let's say, is the iPhone. They also sell a ton of chargers, cases, AirPods, Apple watches, Apple Care, their insurance, right? They sell a ton of other things around their hero product, but they have to have their hero product to sell all those other things. And so when I'm asking you to choose your hero product, I'm not saying get rid of everything else, but I'm saying let your hero product determine your product mix. So this is the thing that you make that's beautiful and or amazing or desirable or fun or whatever it is. And then how can you surround that with products that go with it, that support it? I think a big question to ask yourself is, okay, once you figure out your hero product, what is the very next thing that somebody will want? So think about that iPhone. You're going to need a case right away. There it is. You need a case. What would it be for you? What is the very next thing? So I want to kind of get a little pulse of the room here. Do you all have a lot of products? So if you have some kind of an idea in your head about what your hero product might be, and you think about the other products that you offer, do you have a lot of products that don't directly relate to your hero product right now? No, you're pretty good, pretty tight. Good. I think what is interesting and cool about this is that this hero product concept and the product mix built around it, it actually gives you a lot of freedom because it's a filter. When you can make anything, it feels sometimes overwhelming or like you are sort of in your head kind of like diluting, like you're kind of diluting your product mix. So when you have this filter, you can direct your efforts. And so you're not continually having to create and create and create. You can start elevating those associated products that are in the product mix, make them better, make them more desirable, make them relate more readily to your hero product. So I would love it if you guys are kind of willing to think about this, I mean, I know it's hard because creators create. How do you feel about, like, do we have a thumbs up on this? Do we have a medium thumb sideways, or do we have a thumbs down on making your product mix align with your hero product? Yeah, medium. Yeah, some questions. Okay, some shrugs. All right, let's keep going, because I think, I'm throwing a lot at you, and I'm not asking you you don't have to decide your hero product in this webinar, right? We're going to think of this through. That's what the workbook is for. And I think once you really solve that and identify what your hero product should be, there's a lot of clarity that suddenly comes from that. So let's keep going here, because step 3 is creating your holiday message. So, we teach what we call the elevator pitch plus in all of our programs. And it's just kind of an enhanced version of your elevator pitch. But that is different from your holiday message. The holiday message really needs to answer the question, why should a buyer choose your products this holiday season? And it's really important to be intentional about answering this question and thinking it through, and how your messaging answers that question. Because if you leave this up to chance and you don't help your customers make the decision, a lot of times they just won't buy from you. They want to be guided, right? Like, I don't know if you are the type of person who at a restaurant, you ask the server, what's their top pick? What's their favorite thing on the menu? Or what's the special? People like to have some suggestions and to be guided. And so that's what this is about. That's what this messaging piece is about. We're going to help guide them to buy your products. So, the way that you have perhaps previously been talking about or thinking about what you do right now is just factual. I make candles. And it could be like amazing candles. I make beautiful candles that are clean burning, right? Like on and on. But basically, I make candles. Now, here's the difference. The shopper at the holidays, they're thinking, I need the perfect gift for my sister. They're not necessarily thinking, I need a candle. So really, these are very different conversations, the one that you might have been having and the one that your buyer might be having. So I want to share this holiday messaging framework here. And it's important to do marketing. Of course, it's very important. But I want you to think this through before you make a social post, before you write your emails, before you create an ad that you're going to use this holiday season. I want you to think about this before you do that. So let's talk about what you should say during the holiday season that will actually lead to sales for you. So in order to do this, we have to begin with 4 questions. This is what I'm calling our holiday messaging framework. Okay, there's 4 questions. First of all, who is your hero product for? But the difference, normally, I would say, who is your buyer, right? Who wants your candles? Why do they want a candle? They want to make their home smell better, blah, 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 right? That's not the question that we're asking at the holidays. What I mean is, who is your hero product for? Who, not the demographics of the buyer, but the recipients. So could be somebody looking for a Secret Santa gift, a teacher gift, a hostess gift. You could have somebody, who's a dog lover, a new mom, a golfer. Now, these aren't the people necessarily who are buying. They're the people that they're buying for. So, think about yourself when you are kind of in discovery mode. Like, let's say you need that perfect gift for your sister, but you don't know what it is yet. She hasn't given you a list. You don't have any ideas. So you're kind of in discovery mode when you're shopping. Find something my sister will like. Find something my sister will like. And so you start thinking about recipient, like, well, what about my sister? Well, she is a dog lover. So now you're looking at dog things. She is a new mom. So now you're looking at new mom things. Or you could be thinking, like, I have a Secret Santa gift. I don't know, who the recipient is. So it has to be something that's kind of widely liked, right? Like, we've all done this, right? This sort of shopping for the recipient, searching for the recipient, not the specific item. So I want you to ask yourself, who is my gift for? And answer it like, what recipient would love this? Second question is why? Why will they love it? So this is the emotion thing, not they're going to love it because it proves that their sister loves them. No, we're not going to love it because it's blue. No, we're talking about emotions here. So some examples here. If you, and this is really why. So people don't buy products, they buy moments. They buy this idea of what's going to happen, the delight that the person will experience when they open the present. That's what they're really buying. So let's think about, here's some examples that I thought of. So let's say you sell knit hats. The moment or the why will they love it is because there's love in every stitch, right? This is a hand knitted hat. Let's say like Farah, you sell a amazing scented lotion. You're not selling the lotion, you're selling a moment to herself. And you're giving somebody really busy a moment for self-care. If you sell games, you might be selling good times that are shared, with friends and family. So when you're answering that question about your products, why will they love it? Think about those emotions. Again, not like a feature. You're probably familiar with the concept of features and benefits, right? The feature is a fact about the thing. The benefit is why the fact matters, why that's important. So think like a Tervis tumbler. You could say it's plastic, hard plastic. Why does that matter? It doesn't break when you knock it over, right? That's the benefit. So we're doing that same kind of thing here. Why will they love your product? It's because of the emotion or that moment of delight that they will get, that the recipient will get. Does that make sense? It's kind of a different way to think about things because the buyer is not the end user. That's the real key to this piece. The buyer is not the end user during the holidays. Okay. Next question. What makes your version of the product worth choosing? So let's say they decide to buy a journal. Why should they buy Shelley's journal? Right? So here's some examples. Well, it's handmade, it's woman-owned, it's locally made, it's personalized, it's small batch, whatever it is, it's artistic, like whatever it is, think about what sets your version of whatever you sell apart from others. And the last question is, why should they buy this now? Now, I will say it's wonderful because the holidays have a lot of built-in urgency. I mean, that is why the holiday sales are amazing, because everybody needs presents to give people, and they only have, until the holiday to get them. So there is a lot of built-in urgency there. But how can you reinforce that urgency? So, there's some ways that people do it. Well, you have to order it by December 15th for guaranteed delivery. If you order it now, we can have it personalized by Christmas. We're having a seasonal special. There's limited quantities, right? Like just this urgency, it's just another little nudge. It's just a nudge. Why buying it now? When I'm at a vendor market, I don't know if you all experience this. It depends on where you're located in the market, where your booth is. If you're located in the beginning, near the entrance, you get a lot of people who are saying, well, I'm interested, but I've just got here. I want to see what else is here. So there's no urgency because they're like, oh, I may or may not come back to you, but I'm not buying because you're the first person I see. And I don't know if there's something else I want to spend my money. I would rather spend my money on. So, if you're earlier in the holiday season here, how are you taking them out of that like discovery mode into purchasing mode? That's what this is. So here's the thing that I want you to do here. And again, in the workbook, there's space to fill this out. We're going to write what we call the holiday elevator pitch plus. So here's the format. So this your hero product. So blank is the perfect gift for blank because it helps them blank. So your hero product is the perfect gift for, and then you're going to fill in the type of recipient because it helps them. And then you write down why they will love this. So here's an example for my scavenger hunt kits that I wrote. My group scavenger hunt kits are the perfect gift for families, right? So here's my hero product, my group scavenger hunt kits. Recipient, families. My group scavenger hunt kits are the perfect gift for families because it helps them spend quality screen-free time together doing something fun and interactive. So you may never actually use, because that's kind of a long sentence, right? It's a little long. You may not ever use the whole sentence, or you could shorten it, right? I could just say it's a perfect gift for families because it helps them spend time together. But the idea is to write it so that it inspires all of your messaging, all of your messaging. This is my hero product. This is who it's for. This is why they love it. Does that make sense? Like, you can see how it clarifies your messaging. It clarifies everything that you're talking about. There's a lot of different ways to address this, right? Like, for example, I could show families together screen-free, enjoying time together and off their phones and off their TV, like, and interacting together. And, it's just, there's a lot of opportunities for messaging, for showing the messaging, but you have to have that foundational messaging that guides all of your marketing during the holiday season. So, in this, your action is to write your holiday elevator pitch plus for your hero product. Inside Fuel, we workshop this whole thing with you. We go through all 4 questions. We write your holiday elevator pitch plus. We help you figure out. There's 2 other things that we talk about in the program that are important. We work on that moment. What is that moment? Or what are those moments that you can highlight that the recipient why they'll love it? And then we also help you create a holiday story around your product. And those are great too. But this is the, kind of like the first step is creating this messaging. Okay, so when you're thinking about doing this, did you think it's like, okay, I can do that? Or do you think, oh God, I don't even know. What were you thinking? Like, thumbs up, it's going to be easy. Thumbs sideways, not sure. Thumbs down. Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Couple of thumbs up. Love it. A medium. All right. I mean, part of it starts with the hero product selection, right? So I get that. Okay. So step 4, last step, get in front of holiday buyers. This is the critical piece, right? Now you've got your product, your hero product. You've got your pricing where you've got good margin. You've got your product mix all set up around your hero product. You've got your messaging to talk about it. Now you have to get it in front of the buyers. So again, as we have been doing throughout this whole presentation, the foundational question that you're asking yourself is, who is actually making the purchase? So in the last section, we were talking about the recipients, right? We were building the messaging around why the recipients will love it. Now I'm asking you to switch your thinking to the person who is actually taking out their card and buying. So they are usually not the recipient. At the holidays, they are usually not the recipient. Okay. So we're getting to know the people who are buying. Who are the ones that are actually, again, we have refined our messaging to say who this is for. Families are going to love it. Busy women are going to love it because it gives them a moment to themselves. People who love writing love my journals because they are bright and cheerful, and there's lots of room inside for them to, record all of their thoughts, right? Whatever it is, we figured out why the end user, why the recipient will love it. But now this section, getting in front of the buyers, is more about the buyers, the people who are actually buying for the recipients. So we have to get to know them. We have to think about this. And this is usually, again, this is the type of work that the business owner typically does not do. Typically, their buyer is one type of buyer. It is the end user. But in the holiday season, the end user is not buying for themselves. So we have to do this work for the buyers now. So who are they? Where do they live? How old are they? Who are they buying for? How much money do they make? What is their gender? Right? These things are important for you so that you're getting in front of the right people. So let's say you sell a pretty high-end thing. Like let's say you sell custom made, or not custom, but like high-end diamond jewelry. The people who are buying have to have a certain amount of disposable income that they're willing to spend on a present. So the price point that they're comfortable with might be $500, where the price point I'm comfortable with might be $50, right? So I might not be the ideal customer for those high-end diamond jewelry. What is their gender? Well, let's say you're selling, I'm sure we've seen like Every Kiss Begins with K, right? The K's jewelry thing. And they're selling like a romantic gift, right? So then it has to be somebody who is buying for their significant other, for their special person. How old are these people? Like I said, where do they live? If you sell it, like my scavenger hunts are in the greater Cincinnati area. That's where the hunts are. You do them in Cincinnati. So they don't appeal. I wouldn't even try to sell them to anybody who lives elsewhere because you can't do them there. So for me, that's a critical piece of it. They have to be here. So thinking this through is really step number one on this section here. Now, the second thing is, where are these people when they first discover your products? So remember how we were thinking like many people when they're in gift mode, they have a lot of people they're going to buy for. They don't necessarily have a specific thing that they're buying, that they're looking for. They just know they need a present for their sister and their brother-in-law and the teacher and their best friend. So they've got 4 gifts in mind. They don't know what they're going to be. So they're in discovery mode. So where are they when they're in discovery mode? A lot of people do it on social media. A lot of people do it at a shop like Muse Boutiques, our retail incubator, because there's lots of different types of products there. Amazon is not typically a discovery platform because people go there to buy a thing, the specific thing that they want. It's less of a discovery. I mean, sometimes we say like, I'm searching for a toy for a boy between ages 6 and 10, and we see what comes up. But most of the time, Amazon, we're looking for a very specific type of thing. So we already know what we're searching for. But in discovery mode, we need to be there. We need to be where people are discovering these new products. And then the next thing is we need to be there where, so where can you be discovered? Oh, so here's a list. Okay, here's my list. Where can you be discovered by them? Vendor markets, gift guides, those are big. Some kind of collective marketplace like Muse. Are you featured in articles? Are you shared by friends? Are you in catalogs on social media? Are you on Etsy? Right? These are all kinds of places that can be discovery locations. And then where are they when they make a buying decision? And then how can you be there? So a lot of times that's just kind of, they discovered you. Now remind them of you. Retargeting. Email newsletters. Did you get them on your email newsletter? Are you at live events again? So they saw you in the October market. Are you in the same market in November and December when they're coming back? So I want to caution you, like, don't make yourself crazy with this stuff here. We're going to go with the rule of 3. You're going to choose 3 places, maybe a combination of in real life and online, that where you can commit to consistently showing up and interacting with your ideal buyers. So your rule of 3 might look like vendor markets plus email plus Instagram, or a gift guide plus boutiques plus Pinterest, right? So I want you just to choose 3 places. And then how confident do you feel right now on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being low, how confident do you feel about knowing where your customers are and where you need to be to reach them? Okay, 7. Mm-hmm. Nobody else is. Okay, good. 10, 3. Okay, good. This is fine. Like, no judgment, right? Like, this is why we're doing this now. Why I love that we're doing this now. If we were doing this in October, I would be concerned, but we're doing this now. So we're going to take a moment. I think before I go on, I want to pause and just do a quick review of these steps here that you really need to take this summer so that you can get ready for your big sales this holiday season. So choose a hero product, make that product highly profitable, make customers want it, and get it in front of the right buyers. I'd love to hear like which one of these was the most helpful for you. If you want to just do like a 1, 2, 3, or 4 with your fingers, that would be great. Or you can 2 was good, 1 was good. Yeah. 4, 3. Okay, I love it. All kinds of different answers. Yeah. I mean, that step-by-step process is what's the magic, right? That's where the magic comes in, doing it in this order. So tomorrow morning, here's my little, literally a wake-up call. Tomorrow morning, whether you intend to or not, your holiday selling season is going to start taking shape. I mean, it's sad to say, but every week you're going to have less time to prepare. I'm going to say we're going to have one less week to figure out our hero product. We're going to have one less week to make sure that our pricing is good and that our margins are really strong. We're going to have one less week to like create the kind of content that will convert to sales, not just getting out there, but the conversion content. And one less week to get in front of your buyers, not other people's buyers. I mean, we all know the holiday, and this is my problem when I was in my year 1, holiday customers will start shopping this fall, but holiday success starts now this summer. And, you know, I'm realizing myself, like the stakes are high here. I don't want to downplay this because if you're not ready, if I'm not ready, if we're all not ready, we're going to be losing out on a lot of revenue that really would make or break our year. And it's more than just this year too, because really, you know, one holiday season doesn't define your business. But if we get this right this year and we spend the time to do it this year, every year we'll be able to go back to this. But even at the end of this year, imagine starting 2027 with money in the bank and like momentum and a lot of happy customers and cash flow and a lot of confidence. Like this is great. We would love to have this. I would love to have this. So let's imagine that it's October. For me, particularly, the posting is a challenge. So instead of wondering what to post and trying to decide which products to promote and questioning our prices and scrambling like I have done to get ready, imagine if we already had a plan. I mean, I just feel like that would feel so good, so peaceful, so empowered, you know? And really, that's what we're building together in our Fuel Your Business Income Accelerator. And here's the things I think we need to think about. You know, you've probably heard that thing like, what got you here isn't going to get you there, right? And who do you need to be to get those results? Not just what do you need to do, but who you need to be. And so I think, you know, we have to be ready to think differently. And what's what we're doing right now, like, did we think about a hero product before this? I don't know. We have to be willing to try something new, try new strategies. We have to be, and this is for women who aren't afraid of this work. Like they might be, they're not afraid of hard work, right? I know none of you is afraid of hard work. And in fact, I think you're excited by this stuff. And that's perfect. I think, you know, especially with Chat, our good friends, Chat and Claude, you know, we don't need more ideas or information. What we need is strategy. We need a holiday sales strategy, a plan. And I would just like love to build this with you. You know, I know what happens when we can do this ourselves, right? We can all do this individually, but life is busy and we'll continue to get orders and make sales and our kids go back to school and there goes August and suddenly it's October and we're not any farther ahead. And I want that peaceful holiday season for us. And so we need to start working on it now. So this is our program. It's called Fuel Your Business Income Accelerator. And this is where, so normally this cohort, that's okay, Shelly, thank you. This cohort in the summertime, normally this program is for both product and sales businesses, but this summer we're doing just product businesses. And the whole goal of the program is to help you walk away with that holiday sales strategy. So every session that we have in this, we've tweaked the whole program. Every session is designed to help you kind of answer these questions that we worked through today. And like I said, the whole goal is to have you end the session with this completed holiday sales strategy. So I'm just going to share really quickly what the weekly online sessions are and a little bit about the program itself. So this is a cool program. So it's a 6-week long program. It starts next Wednesday, and it is live online. So the sessions are live on Zoom. They're not in person, which is really convenient for most people. And if you have to miss a session, we record them. So you can always you'll get the replays, but even if you have to miss one, you can watch the replays. We have downloadable workbooks. We meet just for 90 minutes once a week over lunch. And we bring in a lot of experts to teach, not just me. A lot of people who really know what they're doing with this stuff. So session 1 is find your customers. This is, really thinking about who are the holiday buyers so that you can get your hero product in front of them when they're ready to decide. Session 2 is define your message. So this is when we really work on that holiday elevator pitch plus, work on the memorable moments piece and your holiday story. And all of that is what you're going to use with your marketing and your messaging as you go forward into the holiday selling season. So session 3 is make more sales. And we start with mindset here because so many people don't like to sell. It feels icky, it feels pushy. And we take all of that away, or at least I do my best. And then we're going to build your specific sales strategy. And then we get to do role playing with each other. We pair up, we have these conversations with each other in this totally safe, judgment-free space so that you can get really comfortable with selling. Session 4 is mind your money. So this is the dollars and the cents. This is where we're going to look at your pricing, make sure you're profitable. We're going to look at your offers, all the different offer options. And then we bring in an accountant to teach you how to look at your cash flow and manage that so you don't run out of money in the middle of the season. And then session 5 is fund your dreams. So, many product businesses, they need inventory or they need packaging or equipment or something before the holiday season starts so that they can really have enough inventory to meet all the sales that they would like to make. So this session, we bring together a funding panel of funders so that you can understand what your options might be and how you qualify for them. So how you can access that money. And then the last session is streamline and delegate. And this is, quarter 4, you're already busy. We already know you're going to be busy. So we're going to look now at the types of systems and automations that you can put into place so that to make it easier for you. And also perhaps we talk about hiring. So perhaps bring somebody on for the holiday season to help you with fulfillment or making or selling. So that's streamline and delegate session. So, I've thrown a lot at you. I hope that you are not feeling overwhelmed, but you might be. You might feeling a little pressure. Like, can I possibly make this work? And so, as I mentioned before, I kind of hinted at this before, we have this template. It's part of the program. It's called the Holiday Sales Strategy. And it is every student in Fuel gets this. So by the end of the program, so by September 2nd, you will have this completely built out in plenty of time to start implementing it before it gets to quarter 4. We've had a lot of people through this program. We're doing it differently this year, which I love, but I just want to share a couple things that I think translate well from our students of this program. So Francine, she has a hair care product line, and she really shared that how she was always go, go, go. And she didn't think about the stuff that we teach in this program because it's kind of foundational. And so a lot of times when we start our business, we just get going with it and we don't think about this stuff. And so that was the thing that she called out that she really appreciated about it. Afton Palmer, she really loved how flexible the way that we set it up was, this online, recorded, and all live online so you can ask your questions, but then recorded so you can review it later. So the program itself is either 2 payments of $175 or $345 payment in full, which includes a pricing coaching session with me. But because you're here, you can use webinar, the promo code webinar, and it'll take $50 off of that. So that would make it $295. So I want you to think about, like, is it worth it? So let's think about your hero product. You don't have to answer this out loud, but how many additional sales would it take for you to pay for this program? I feel like for many of you, just a few extra sales would cover this investment in this program, and everything after that, everything that you make, all those extra sales are just upside. And again, it's not just this year. You're building, once you learn this sales strategy, you can repeat it year after year. So every year you'll get better sales, grow your business. And everything starts on July 29th. So you've got your inspiration. We've got the expert guidance. We have built-in accountability to keep you moving forward and not stalling on this stuff. And one of the things that I love so much about our programs is you have the pleasure of meeting other product business owners who support each other and cheer you on, and you're all working toward these similar goals together. So like I said, your strategy, your holiday sales strategy will be done, and it will be ready to execute by September 2nd. And that's the perfect timing to set everything up for Q4. So I'd love to invite you to join the program. I'm going to put the link in the chat, and it is, or you can, of course, use this QR code. And let's see if I can get the link in the chat. Yes, I can. There it is. Like I said, you know, your holiday customers are going to start shopping in the fall, but your holiday success starts in the summer here. And I would absolutely love to work with you to build this plan. So I'd love to open it up for questions if anybody has any. Thank you so much for being here. If you have to go, I get it. But if you want to stay and ask questions, let's do that.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I spoke with you earlier, you know.
Yeah.
And my product is custom. So I know they like to buy the pet portraits for Christmas, but I'm wondering how, like, does my lead time between when all this starts rolling and getting orders in, I need to back that up a couple of months depending on how many. Like right now I've got 6 or 7 orders.
Great.
For Christmas. So
you need to decide, like, what's the latest they can order.
And I'm in between jobs right now, so it's a perfect time for me to crank things out.
Agreed.
And I love doing it, so it goes fairly quickly. But
one of the things that I would recommend is to have, maybe you're selling a specific size. So they, you know, it's the 8x10s, and they're, you know, this many, set some parameters around it. Like, it's an 8x10, it comes in a black frame, and, you know, it's, there's a 2-week turnaround time. So it's very clear what they're getting. Okay. So if they're shopping on December 15th, they see, well, I missed out on that. But you could offer a gift certificate. So somebody could buy the gift certificate if they're running really late, have a nice certificate and put it in the, and give that, and then people can, the pet owners, the recipients can circle back to you, with the photo of their pet.
Most people pay for them upon delivery with a check.
Okay, so we're not doing that anymore. We're
right.
No.
Or they could buy right off my website, but
you need to, so if somebody is buying a present for themselves, they're buying this for themselves.
Right.
They might, you certainly should ask for 50% down, because what if you did the whole thing and then they just never paid you? That's terrible. But in this particular case, because they are buying a gift, there is no 50% on delivery. Like, they just buy it. It's $300 here or whatever, $150, whatever you decide. It's $150 flat. and then you're promising to deliver it in 2 weeks, right? It's just a contract that they have to trust you a little bit, but also they don't want to mess around with delivery and half beforehand and half after. Like they just need to check this off of their gift list.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They don't want to mess around with the other.
They don't. They're like, cool, check off her. Good. Now who's next?
Yeah.
On their list. Yeah.
The people that buy from me are ones that know me. So
but that's going to grow, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be people that don't know you.
Yeah.
And that's the really exciting thing. I was just sitting with doing a coaching session with somebody recently, and she said, guess what? I made my first sale to somebody that I don't know, which is so exciting. I know. It's so good. So good. Danielle, tell me what you're pretty sure about your hero product. Tell me what your hero product is.
Yeah. So I did I'm an illustrator, but also a graphic designer. So I'm my path is to get into licensing. So I don't have a product-based business. However, this for the holidays, I do sell print-on-demand greeting cards, and I do calendars. My calendar product took off very well last year with very minimal effort. So I want to have at least 2 or 3 different designs that I'm pushing out of the calendar, but actually, promote it, tell people about it.
Oh yeah. What about, do you ever just print some so that they can take it home with them? And then again, as we were just saying with Roxanne, like now it's done off my list. I have it. I'm putting it in my pile to be wrapped.
Yeah, last year I did only print on demand through a company called Gelato. So it was through my website for people I knew, and then people I didn't know was through Etsy. And that did well. I need to bump up that profit margin a little bit because there are a lot of fees associated with it.
Yeah.
But I'm also wanting to get my wholesale calendar up so I can approach like Hansi and approach, Mason at Left Bank and
absolutely
see if they could also place some orders. But I don't. In order for me to do wholesale, I do need to print them, and have them on hand. So today I kind of was like, oh, well, I already had a plan to do that with greeting cards, but I hadn't had a plan to do that with my calendars. So I need to find, because the greeting cards are great. Like that's what I want to get into licensing for, but that's not the biggest profit margin for sure.
Right, sure.
It's like I can't sell them at, $8 a greeting card to actually make a profit.
Right.
But calendar's a little bit more like I can, and so like really playing up the story and that they're all hand illustrated and all of that was a really good takeaway too from today. So
good.
I just need to find a printer that can, so that also means like I need to finish the designs, which I did have finished and up for sale by October last year, and that was essential. So it's kind of a reminder that I need to get on that this year. And
do you have any interest in selling retail direct to customer, even just at the holidays?
I do. Yeah. I just need to figure out a way to get them printed in a wholesale price point.
Well, but I'm saying direct to consumer. So yes, you do need to do that if you're going to go wholesale, but I'm talking about like you being at a vendor market with the calendars and the greeting cards.
Oh, yeah, I've done a market before. It depends on, I'm interested in looking at it again since I will have ability to have physical products in hand.
Right.
But some of the holiday markets are really expensive to get into, and there's so much setup that has to go along with it. Like I did at the Hellman Center a few years ago, because it was inside and they provided a table, and I was like, okay, and there was still a lot of expense that went into just having that kind of setup. So I'm open to that kind of situation again. But some of the other markets, like you need the whole thing, and I it's not something I want to do more often in the holidays. So it's a lot of expense
enough to buy the tent and buy the tables and stuff like that. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I do think it makes sense to spend some time just like looking for some vendor markets where you can just show up, that have the table, that have, all you need is a tablecloth and the stuff. And
exactly.
Because your profit margin is so much higher on direct to consumer than it is on wholesale, of course, and then it is on demand.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
I would recommend talking to Auto Printing. It's woman owned. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's in Newport.
Oh, I think so. Someone was telling me about it. I don't think they have like a active website. I think it's just like call us.
Just go in.
Exactly. Yeah, but I've heard good things.
Like, that's great brainstormer. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you've got something that is a little more high volume printing, you might look at oh my gosh, why am I blanking on what it's called? Evolution Printing. Let me see. Just one second. This is also women owned. Evolution Creative Solutions. Yeah, let me get, I can pop her into the chat. And so this is like, yeah, like if you want to order, 50 calendars or something, it might be more economic with her.
Okay.
But so, and she just loves brainstorming with people too, like let's figure out how we can do this. So,
yeah. Oh, wonderful. Oh, that's great to have those referrals too.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah. I
Very
think,
exciting.
For you having like those three sort of ways to reach customers, the Etsy print on demand, Etsy and your website print on demand, which you make a very small amount on, but it's hands off for you. Like you did the design and loaded it. Now it's
watch shipping in case there's any delays, which there are, but still minimal.
And then wholesale locally to places that I love that, right? That's a great idea. But you're again smaller margin, not smaller than the print on demand, but small.
Yes.
And then the direct to customer, just get it in their hands. They can walk away with it. They have something to wrap. They have the little pack of cards. That's like the perfect time to reach them. And we all know that people tend to pay a little more at the holidays for these things, especially if it seems really special. And so
sure. Roxanne, do you do any markets? And so you're an artist.
I've tried, like I've only been in Cincinnati area for 2 years. I did Penrod, the big art show at the art museum there in Indianapolis. But again, you got to count on somebody walking by that actually wants what you've got. And the guy beside me was selling landscape paintings for $3,000. And, my products start around like for a 12 by 12 inch head of an animal, or 8 by 8 for the animal, and framed in a metal frame with one mat, it was $350. So, but you just got to count on somebody coming by that what you want. So I need to figure out a better way to market. Like maybe Etsy is my thing, but I know my main customer, because of my price point, because I've been doing this since 1994 on the side, is affluent females. And generally they'll say price is no object. And I'm like, oh, come talk to me. So
if you said it's $3,000 for a 12 by 12, they might be like, my price suddenly is an object.
the person and I did some for my hair doctor. I did a trade. And so it turned out that 20 by 20 inch stretched canvas with one animal on it was, and I charge extra for additional animals in the same piece, a little over $1,000. But again, my market is the people that have that disposable income that they can spend on it, and they don't mind making that decision, and or they want to support the arts. So really played around with Etsy at all, or Pinterest, any of those.
The problem with Etsy is that, and I'm sure you've seen this, Danielle, Etsy is all about Etsy. They're not really about the sellers. So if you're tagged pet portraits, right underneath your listing are a whole bunch of other people selling pet portraits.
Yeah.
They're like, what the heck, man? Like there's my competition right there.
Yeah. And I do also wall murals in homes. And so I did 2-week, I forget what they called it, but it was like a home, like a home fair kind of thing in Indianapolis. And I also was at the state fair there with a booth for 2 weeks. But again, you're waiting.
But that's not a holiday thing unless, that's just not a holiday gift.
But wall murals is what I was selling at the home place. And working with interior designers, but they generally have their own people.
And that's a service, not a product, whereas the pet things are products. So it's just a different marketing strategy.
Yeah, you don't have to charge sales tax on the not tangible. Yeah,
that's right.
So that's kind of been my experience, but mostly people that get to know me and like me buy from me. So I have to get in front of the right people.
That's it. So thank you all for coming today. I hope you think about joining Fuel. I'm really excited about this cohort, like that's really totally focused on this holiday sales strategy. I think it's going to be amazing and so valuable and so actionable. So
Yeah,
Wait to
it's like
see
a
what
constant
happens.
fire under our butts, which we need.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Do it with the custom products then.
Oh, you could definitely do it with the custom products because it's still the same concept, right? It's
But
who are you in front of? Who, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
and
yeah,
figure out how to, it depends on how I get in front of the people. Because if
right.
they're scheduled events I have to be at, that would affect it too.
Yeah, and it depends on how, like Danielle is trying to get the wholesale thing going so she doesn't have to be there. But if you can be in the right room at the right time,
Mhm.
you make a lot, a lot better margin. But,
Yeah.
all kinds of different ways of having a product business. And Danielle talking about your licensing. That's very exciting.
Yeah, hopefully we'll
Yeah.
start pitching. It was supposed to be June.
Okay.
It's July
All right.
22nd. So we'll see.
All right.
It'll happen. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you
All
so
right.
much, Jill. Really appreciate
You're
it. It was really
welcome.
good today.
Thanks. Thanks for
Yeah.
joining
We'll
us.
see you
Thank
around.
you. See you
Bye.
all. Thanks. Bye.